everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a good night. So, as you can see, the queen is behind me. She is supervising this react, of course, because we can't do anything without Queen Booger. So, I was just finished up working and I thought I would do a couple of reacts tonight before bed. So, I saw that Foodie Beauty has been busy. She went live twice. She did one called I'm So Overwhelmed, and she's talking about moving and everything she's going to need. Let's talk about the things that Foodie claims to need. Let's talk about the alleged scooter that she says she needs. So, we're going to apply a little bit of common sense here. Foodie says she needs a scooter to get around town and go places, but when she goes back to Canada, she is essentially going back to Canada at the middle of fall, beginning of winter. Canada gets very, very cold, and it also snows a lot. So by the time that Foodie gets her scooter, if she got one, it would be wintertime. Does anybody see Foodie, riding around town in the snow in winter? No, I can't either. And that's right on par for Foodie because she's a scammer. We all know this. We are all aware of this. Scammers will always structure a scam where they get money from people for an alleged thing or event or purpose or reason. And then when it's time to show proof that the money was spent on what they said it was supposed to be spent on, there's always going to be an excuse or reason why they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So Foodie is asking for $1,000, $2,000 for a scooter. But anybody out there that's going to give her money, she might get some money, but she won't produce a scooter. She'll just make excuses. Oh, it's winter and I can't use the scooter, so I'm not going to get it right now, etc., etc. Also, I've also heard through the grapevine that Foodie has allegedly put down a down payment on an apartment without even seeing it. She's doing everything remotely online, perhaps through Facebook Marketplace. Foodie, Facebook Marketplace is full of scammers. They scam more than you. And I know this because when I had to look for a place to live, I went on Facebook Marketplace. I looked around and I ran into so many scammers. But I'll tell you what, anybody out there that's looking around on Facebook for a place to live, because you might be looking for, say, something that's more privately owned. One piece of advice that I could give you is if you're interested in a place and if you find a place that has better than normal rent, keep this in mind. If it looks too good to be true, it usually is. Also, another important point, if you start talking to somebody and they tell you that there's a room or an apartment or something for rent at such and such address, do a double check on that address. Just do a search under that address and see if there isn't a place for rent for that amount advertised somewhere else. More than likely what you'll see is that, yeah, there is a place for rent, maybe that exact apartment or house, but the rent is double than what the person on Facebook is asking for. That's how you know it's a scam. So Foodie might potentially be getting scammed, or she just might outright be lying. But either way, I am here to talk about Foodie. So you guys know what time it is. It is time for the Twitter peeps. Let's go over those first. All right, it's time for the Twitter peeps. And of course, the queen will be supervising this react and making sure that I do it right. So I love my Queen Booger. All right, so for those of you that are on Twitter that you'd like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you not on Twitter, I do the peeps so you guys can keep up with all the stuff. So let's start here with the first tweet, courtesy of Meandering Thoughts. Meandering Thoughts says, okay, looks like Foodie Beauty was scammed again with the apartment. She just paid last month's rent, apparently without any contract and without ever getting the okay for the apartment. She'll never learn. Maybe she got lucky this time. If not, she has to grift even more. So that just sounds weird to me. I mean, there is a process for getting an apartment and a house. You look for a house or an apartment or a room. You reach out to the owner in some way, whether it's through email or DMs or something. Ask them, is it available? And if they say yes, they might give you details about what you need to do to just to get approved. They might ask you to pay an application fee when you send your application in, and that application fee is supposed to cover your credit check. And that's part of what they look for, is like your credit. And the whole thing of paying a security deposit, paying the first and last month's rent, that really doesn't happen until after you're approved. Like they're saying, okay, we're choosing you as a tenant. You are approved. Go ahead and just send that in or bring it to us. That's when that happens. You don't send everything ahead of time unless you're approved. Only a fool would do that. And Foodie is, of course, a fool. So if Foodie sent a whole bunch of money to somebody ahead of time, she's going to get scammed, especially if they're like, oh, yeah, send money orders or send it on gift cards or something, like something that she can't take back. Something that doesn't leave a paper trail. So, it doesn't sound good. It really doesn't. All right, so let's talk about Miss Amberlynn Reed. She's been missing for a bit. She finally popped up, and she did something very odd. She posted like a little TikTok, and in my opinion, that this looks like a combination of, tapping ASMR mixed with the feedy stuff. Also, somebody caught this little mistake that she made. She's saying like she's doing something home from work, but yet the keyboard is not plugged in. So she's working from home, but she's using a keyboard. The doggone it ain't plugged in. Look. So she's acting like she's typing, but look down here, family. Look down here in the middle of the screen. Do you guys see a plug-in for the keyboard? I don't. So how in the world is she operating this keyboard unless it's wireless? And if it were wireless, it wouldn't have the little plugins on the keyboard. So she's just trying to like tap into the ASMR tapping sounds, relaxing sounds community, and also bring in the feedy stuff as well. But this is what she's doing. I'm gonna, this is her. What I ate while working from home. But girl, you're not working if the keyboard's not plugged in. So she's pretending to type, and she's not even typing words. Somebody also clocked that she's typing gibberish. So there she goes with the tapping sounds. And Amber, if you're going to tap into the ASMR community, food is not included unless it is. You're trying to combine two different worlds, and it's not going to work. But she's trying to act like a professional girl. Keyboards. Look, it's not plugged in. You screwed up, Amber. It's not even plugged in. And that was not plugged in either. So I know what you're doing here, Amber, and I'll tell you how I know. Because I am someone that I get into very relaxing sounds. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of ASMR. Call me weird. I love watching the soap cutting videos and the slime videos, but the soap cutting videos. I don't know. I just like them. So I like very relaxing sounds. I love ambient videos, ambient music. Those are things that relax me. I don't, get high. So I just relax using sound. So why is she switching keyboards? Because different keyboards have different sounds, believe it or not. And some are more relaxing to listen to than others. So she's switching out keyboards, trying to get like the different sounds. Like one is more quiet than the other. And we're bringing in the doggone food again. And I hold on a second, Amber. I think I know another reason why she's doing this. Again, because I go around to different communities. There are lots of people who make videos that have titles such as studying at home for 8 hours, 2 hours, and they actually show themselves working from home or studying for college. And those videos are very popular. People like watching those types of videos because it motivates them to work, or it motivates them to study, or they, kind of like have a study partner, that sort of thing. So she's kind of trying to do in that same vibe, but the eating is kind of ruining it. Like you got to keep the different categories separate, Amber. If you want to do the feedy stuff, do the feedy stuff. Don't try to marry different worlds that don't belong together. Like, what does the feedy stuff have to do with working from home? Nothing. And she's like, you know what? I'm done here. She's showing off plenty of food, and it's like we don't need to see that. If you're taking a break and you're eating, you don't need to show that in a video like this. Anyway, y'all get the point of what's going on here. Tracy says, without proof, talking about Chantal, she actually paid anything. There's a high probability she's lying. Probably just another grift to get more money or to have to stay longer. Then again, she's dumb AF. So Sophia Pines says, something's off. I was saying I feel like Chantal is getting ready to pogo into a different country. Thank you, Cowboy Dog. Now I think she's setting this scene to pretend she's been scammed by the people she wants to rent from in Canada. A new excuse. We'll find out what happens, won't we? It's pretty apparent she can't stay in Syria, so it's one of those things of you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So we'll see where she ends up next. Queen Jellybean says, apparently rental scams in Cornwall are a big problem, but I'm sure Foodie Beauty wouldn't fall for such a thing or just send money to someone without a rental contract. So AI overview. Cornwall rental scams often involve fraudsters posting fake rental listings on websites such as Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace, using stolen property photos and demanding money for a deposit before viewing or signing a lease. To protect yourself, verify property ownership, always view a property in person before paying, and never wire money or provide personal information until you've confirmed the listing's legitimacy and met the landlord. If a deal feels suspicious or too good to be true, it likely is, and you should contact the Cornwall Police Service, CPS. Excuse me. Oh, I need some more tea. Excuse me. How the scam works. Fake listings. A fraudster steals photos and details of a real property or creates a completely fake one. Online advertising. They then post these listings on popular rental websites and social media platforms. Demand for money. Interested renters are pressured to pay a deposit or first and last month's rent upfront to secure the property. Disappearance. After receiving the money, the fraudster disappears, leaving the victim with no property and lost funds. There's also issues of one property being rented out to multiple people all at the same time. A fraudster will say, oh yeah, I have this property for rent. And then 3 or 4 people show up claiming, well, I'm the one renting this property. And that's because money's been received by all 3. So by the time they all figure it out, the person's long gone. So did Foodie fall for a rental scam? Don't know, but it kind of feels like it. Acadia Strong says, just a reminder of how she feels about Canada. This is a direct quote from Foodie saying, I'm not going to Canada. I'm not stepping near the freaking Western world. We're not going to Canada. We don't want to live there, okay? It's a crap hole. I don't like paying taxes. No, I don't like the government taking all of our money. Oh, she's talking, so I'll go ahead and just play it anyway.
We're not going to Canada. We don't want to live there. Okay? It's a shithole. I don't like paying taxes. No, I don't like the government taking all our money. Sorry. There's a lot of people leaving Canada as expats. Do you like paying, if you make $100K a year, do you like paying $35,000 in tax when you still have shit healthcare? And yeah, the cops.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny what I've said before? She's a narc, you see. Narcs, they need you when they need you. And when they need you, they're cool with you. They'll talk great about you. They'll hang out with you. They'll make the phone calls to speak to you. But when they don't need you, they talk trash about you. And this is what she's doing right here about her own country. When she didn't need Canada, when she was fine in Kuwait, she talked all that trash. But now Salah's kicking her out of Syria and saying, you got to go. Contract's over. Suddenly she's talking favorably about Canada. But listen to the way she's talking about Canada right now. And as far as the healthcare, Chantal, you abused the healthcare system. Yes, you did. How many times did you go to the emergency room and you really didn't need the emergency room? You essentially used the emergency room to get out of trouble that you put yourself in. Whenever you backed yourself into a corner with your beezers and they were mad at you, you would, deflect using the emergency room and taking up resources and time that really shouldn't have been taken up. But go ahead.
Are useless. What, are you happy with that? They tax the crap out of you. I have free healthcare. I went to a clinic here. You know what it cost me for medication and treatment? Several forms of treatment? $3. Also, my medications are a lot cheaper here, actually, by half price.
And this was her being smug a while ago. Because essentially what she was saying without saying was, ha ha, you're all suckers, you're all stupid. You over there in the Western world paying a lot more than I am for healthcare, ha ha. Well, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now, madam? And because Canada's got this healthcare system thing where you got to, is it an OHIP card? I'm probably getting that wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's part of your healthcare, but you have to be in Canada for a certain amount of time to have access to that. And she's not been in Canada for a while, so she can't take advantage of that no more.
I have no interest in going back there. The feelings I have there compared to here.
Yeah, the only reason why she's interested to go back to Canada is that she has nowhere else to go. Where is she going to go? Where can she afford to go? Honestly. She was in Canada, and then her money started to drop. Then she ran to Kuwait because she thought it was cheaper. And it was cheaper in some respects, but not so much in others. But still, she based her location on her income, and her income just kept dropping. And then after Kuwait, what happened? She went to Syria, a war-torn country, but it was a lot cheaper cost-wise than Canada. Stayed there for a while. Didn't save her money. Now she's got to go back to Canada or somewhere else. I don't know where she's going to go, where she can survive on the money she's making, but I guess we'll find out.
No, I don't like Canada. I don't have to. You're allowed to like Canada all you want, but I don't. How do I want to utilize the system, Pepperminty? Don't even live there, so try again. What, having a right to healthcare? That's me wanting to utilize the system? Anywhere you live in the world, you have a right to healthcare. Give me a break. Guess what? I'm never going back to Canada. I don't.
Famous last word. I'm never going back to Canada. Well, I guess you're going back.
I don't want to even go there. Like, I have so many bad memories there. It's just, no. I'm not going to Canada. Fuck Canada. I have such negative feelings of the people in Canada. Like, just the biggest trash. I really wish my...
I'm thinking about something right now. I don't know if I read it. It's something that I heard. Something that Ozzy Osbourne said. He said, be careful on how you treat people on the way up the ladder, because those are the same people that you'll see on the way back down. That also applies to other things too, Foodie. Be careful of your attitude and how you treat people, when you're successful, when you're getting successful, because if you ever arrive at a point where you are lacking success or you're down at the bottom of the ladder again, you'll see those same people. You'll be in that same place again. Oh, and here we go. Foop Olympics. Credit to Foop Olympics for catching this, for clocking it. And Carrie Lynn. Foop Olympics says, please tell me she was over there clacking away at those keys when she's not even plugged in. Busted. Carrie Lynn says, Amberlynn Reed showing up with Foodie stuff before October 1st. Isn't shocking. Did anyone else in girl world notice the keyboard was not working? Nope. So how you working from home if your keyboard's not plugged in? You can't even fake working right. Hectic Llama says, Foodie says she's a deposit last month's rent for an apartment, but hasn't signed a contract yet. Another mansion scam? Well, she's just that stupid to make it happen twice. Queen Jellybean says, my husband and I used to have a rental property, and the very first thing I do when going over their rental applications was Google them and look for their social media. Anyone who looks up Chantal Sarot is going to immediately nope renting to her. Yeah, that's a thing too. That's why social media counts. What you put on social media counts, because it matters for all kinds of things. And Chantal's social media digital footprint is horrible. So who would rent to her after seeing all this stuff about her? Els RPH says, she's so overwhelmed, you guys, like, but seriously, she might have been scammed. She's saying she gave the apartment the last month's rent, but there's no paperwork. Girl, do they have live-in cats to pet sit too? Stupid knows no bounds. Yeah, so yeah, let's talk about the scooter for a minute again. So she wants a scooter. Now, y'all check this out. This is an ATV. This is back when Foodie was in Kuwait, and she and Salah did the ATV thing. That ATV was struggling, and ATVs are heavy duty, and they have much bigger engines. So if an ATV was struggling with Foodie, does a scooter have a chance in hell? No, I don't think so. She ain't going to get no scooter. She's not going to be riding around the snow in winter in Canada. Get out of here. Yeah, like that scooter wasn't going very fast with Foodie. And it would make sense because even vehicles have a weight limit. And Foodie is over 500 pounds. So, yeah. We all remember her using the scooter. Was it at Walmart or Costco? And that thing was ready to break too. So, I don't think she should get a scooter. I really don't think so. Tweets RS says, Foodie Beauty, you are disgusting. Do not worry, your karma is coming. You use DV that never was. You use your mental health as an excuse to be a piece of crap of a being. So somebody in her chat, I guess somebody left a comment saying, are you going to start a fundraiser for this too? Talking about the scooter. Foodie Beauty says, yep, got any money? Wow. She's not even trying to hide it anymore. She's like, straight up, yeah, I want your money. Give it to me. I hear y'all check this out. Tweets R Us also posted, Foodie Beauty, a car can barely hold your weight. And since when are you 250 pounds? You're getting close to twice the weight. So yeah, try again. So like the picture of the scooter, Chat GPT says the scooter in your photo is a ShopRider Echo 3 M2 mobility scooter. This model typically has a weight capacity of 250 pounds. And Foodie is almost 600. So she's way over the weight limit for that scooter. It would not work. It just would not work. All right, so we're done with the tweets. Let's go on to the live. If it gets boring, I will go ahead and fast forward. It's only for an hour, but if we got to make it shorter, we got to make it shorter. I'm not here to be bored all night, and neither are you. So let's get going with this and see what she has to say about this supposed move and being an idiot and giving her money without even seeing the place. Let's do it.
Hello, Michaela. Set date. Write out a list of things you need to do. True, it can be, Christine, and it can be exciting in a way. Thank you, Debbie. I have you overwhelmed, Lorena. I know. Sorry, guys. Cheese curds. Farm boy bees in the scooter bees.
You are not going to do farm boy bees and the scooter bees. You're going to car first. Before you spend $2,000 on a scooter, you'll spend it on a car, even a bucket. Because honestly, a bucket for you would be better than a scooter. I mean, what are you going to do with a scooter in winter, you idiot? You're not going to ride around in the snow. Stop.
You've been praying? Yes, I know. I pray for Teardrop too. I do. She's very special to me. A rebrand? Your ex-husband was bald and mean? Oh, no. List maker.
You know, I think the only reason why Foodie would want a scooter is because there are feedies that get into that. We all remember her getting the we called it the Foodie Scooty. She wanted a walker, and she got a walker, and she used it maybe a couple of times, and that was it. But there are feedies that get into the idea, the fetish of people who are so big that they have trouble moving. That might be part of their fetish, is maybe Foodie being on a mobility scooter, but it wouldn't work. It's not even going to move.
I just forget to check my list, so I should set an alarm to check my list. You know? I gotta go on my other phone and pin my... nothing. Well, she's just not well, you know? That's all. Teardrop. She's not well, so... Thanks, Jenny. People on X thought I was flying home today. How come? Why? Because it was payday? I know, Issa P.
And Foodie, you really need to stop all that grifting right about now. Look at the date. We've got another 5 days after today, 5 days until the end of the month. People got to save their money for their rent and their bills and such. You need to stop all this nonsense of asking people for money. They are broke. Have some respect. They ain't got it to give you. Stop asking.
I had you cacking your pants. Cack. Sorry. A siren on the scooter. Now, people think that the scooter's a bad idea.
It is a bad idea, and it's a stupid idea. And you're just over there trying to come up with new ways to get money out of people, saying, I need. Give me. I want. And yet there's no talk from you about what you're paying for. If I were a beezer, I would be saying, what exactly are you paying for? What money do you have to put into the pot? You keep coming to us and asking us for money, but how much do you have in pocket? And what exactly are you spending it on? I think if you're going to your audience and asking for their money, they have the perfect right to ask you what you have on hand and what you're spending your money on, and ask for receipts.
I understand that. True. Yes. It is, Fernando.
And I honestly don't think it's a smart idea if any of you beezers give her money for home donations. Again, common sense. I like to bring common sense to the table. Let's just think now. She said, like, she just pinned her little PayPal stuff at the top of her screen. You just saw that happen. She immediately pinned it to her screen. So, common sense. She's asking for home donations. She doesn't even have a home yet, which means she does not know what she's going to need when she gets there. Right? I mean, she could easily find a fully furnished home. And yet she's asking for money for this, that, and the other thing. How does she know she's going to need it? She's asking for all kinds of furniture. She may get a place that's fully furnished and not need furniture. She has no idea what is going to be required. You don't know until you get there. If you're starting from the bottom up and you're starting out with nothing, the best thing to do is to wait until you get into a home and then look around and say, okay, now I know what I'm going to need. And then I can make a list and put things in order of top priority and then just go from there. So y'all might be giving money for things that she doesn't even need right now.
Hey, Katie Kate. I am Michelle, but not now. Hey, Carrie, Sleepy Bird. The apartment told me 48 to 72 hours they'll let me know. So maybe by Monday. By like tomorrow or Monday, maybe. If not tomorrow, then Monday. But I put a deposit, so they have to let me know because I need my money back.
And you honestly think you're going to get it back, girl? No, 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 no. Now, I can see paying an application fee, you know, because they want to process your application so they can check out your credit and all that and see how you are before they say yes or no. But to pay for a place unseen, you're asking to get scammed. And it sounds like you might have, if this is even real. Because, you know, rule number one, Chantal lies. Rule number two, she tells on herself. But always remember rule number one. So she might be lying.
If they ask you to put a deposit, does that mean like they have you?
She's playing dumb. She has to be playing dumb. How old is she? She's 41 years old and she doesn't know the process of getting a place to stay. Really? Really? I mean, it's not like she hasn't been through this before. Once upon a time, long, long ago, her and Pete lived together. They were roommates way before the villa. So she knows about it. She's just playing dumb. Maybe for views, maybe for attention, acting all ditzy. But even if you don't know, even if you do not know, you can go online and do your homework and find out.
Pay like the last month's rent?
No, no, no. You don't pay last month's rent until you are locked and loaded and you've got the lease in hand and you know, like you're ready to move in.
And I paid the last month's rent. So does that mean that I'm going to get the apartment, do you think? Or they're just usually they just ask for like a small deposit to secure the application, but they ask for like the full thing. I don't know. It means you usually get it. Could be.
Why don't you tell us exactly where you found this place, Foodie? That would give everybody a clue about whether it might be a scam or not. What site did you go on? Did you go on Facebook? Did you go on a rental place, a private owner? Where exactly are you renting?
A scam? I hope not. You should make a list. You're right. I should, Christina. I'm going to do that. You know, I paid the deposit. Full. I paid it full yesterday. Hey, page 22. Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, ECP says, I've never paid rent until after approval. And I don't know exactly when you're moving, Chantal. Like, we know the game with you. We know that you're not going to give us the exact date that you're going to be in Canada if you go to Canada. You might say, oh, I'm going to be leaving on this date when it's actually a week early. For some reason, you got to be all secretive about when you're leaving. But here's something for you. If you move into an apartment, let's just say in the middle of the month, guess what? You're going to get prorated rent, which means you have to pay half the value of the amount of rent for the 2 weeks that you're there. And then on the 1st, pay again. So just know that. It's what I had to do.
You think I'll get it? Thank you, guys.
But you don't even have a contract. You just sent the money without a contract. You're an idiot.
Until after approval. Me neither. Hi, Solo. Hi, Solo.
Okay, Coco Bear says usually in Ontario, they can only ask for a deposit or last month's rent, not both.
Oh, no, that scooter doesn't, Zoe. That one has a minimum of 330 pounds. There's some that look like that are 265.
Chantal, you are not 250 pounds. You are not 350 pounds. You're not even 450 pounds. Ma'am, if you aren't rocking 550, I will eat Natter's cooking. That's how certain I am that you're way over 500. Okay, knock it off.
An application fee, right, Margie? Don't send anything without a contract. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Where did you find the listing, Chantal? Was it Zillow? Was it a reputable site? Where exactly did you find this place? Facebook Marketplace? Where did you find it?
Yeah, Coco Bear. That's what I thought. No. I did do research. It's not a scam as far as I can see.
Well, we know you to be stupid and make bad decisions. So as far as I can see, what research did you do?
I know. Why would they bother asking me for the deposit and then have to return it? Like, you should approve the person first. Maybe they want to see if you can really afford it. The scooter, okay, I'll tell you.
Well, you know what, Chantal? Generally, that's what the credit check is about. Landlords, if they want to see that you can pay the rent, if they want assurance that you will be a good tenant and that you'll pay the rent, they will. That's what they ask for. Bank statements. They want to see what your income looks like. They will check out your credit. They want to see that everything's in good standing. That's what that's for. Not about the deposit. The deposit is just money, but it's not going to show a history of, does this person have money on the regular and enough money that they will pay the rent? Like, they want some assurances that you can pay the rent monthly.
I'll tell you why the scooter is a good idea. Okay. The scooter is a good idea because without a car for a while, I'm not going to be going anywhere because let's face it, I cannot even walk. Like last night, I tried walking to where Salah parked the car because it was far down the street. I couldn't even do that. It was 3 minutes. I cannot walk. I can walk for 2 minutes.
Then you know what? It's time to you're 41 years old. Your health is out of control. You were going wild, going on Twitter, messaging Burger King saying, when are you guys going to have Nashies? And will you still have them when I get there? And yet your health is just that bad. Maybe it's time to turn away from food as your main obsession. If you're at a place where you're 41 years old and you can't even walk 3 minutes. I mean, you're 5 feet tall and you should be about 100, 120 pounds. And you're nearly 600 pounds. That's why you're struggling. You got so many health problems, Chantal. But rather than address the health problems and say, this is out of control, I've got to do something, I've got to turn this around, you're still trying to find ways to enable yourself to keep going with your bad behaviors. Oh, like, let's not address the health problems and lose some of the weight. Let's just get a scooter and keep going with the eating.
So if I do that.
And what's going to happen, Chantal? Let's just say you did go back to Canada. And then you managed to find a scooter that can carry you around town. What if it runs out of energy? What if it breaks down? Like, what if you're somewhere and it just, the motor burns out? What are you going to do? And again, I just can't see you riding around town in the middle of winter when it's snowing, 23 degrees outside, going to get a Nashi on that scooter.
Yeah, they need a. If I can't do that, I want to still have a quality of life until I get healthy.
But you're not going to get healthy. You're going to go to Canada, surrounded by all your vices, and you're going to go wild. You know it, and I know it. Because you're an active raging addict. You're going to be surrounded by your vices, and you're going to use the fact that, oh, I'm lonely and I miss Salah and I don't know what to do with myself. And people are going to coddle you and enable you instead of call you out. Because that's what the beezers do for the most part. They coddle you and they enable you. And they are the ones funding all of your addictions. And I know you're not going to like me for saying that, beezers, but it's true. You know it's true. I mean, she's been on YouTube for 8 years. She doesn't have another job. She doesn't want another job. 100% of her income is YouTube and stuff online. So the money is coming from other people. And then she takes that money and she hurts herself. So her lifestyle would not be popular if it weren't for people funding her and keeping it going, right? Exactly.
I can use the scooter to get, let's say, to the mall. Then, I can just get off the scooter and walk around. Or I can use the scooter to go to the park, then lock the scooter and walk around. But at least I have that safety net. At least I have that ability to go around town.
Let me tell y'all something. She was in Kuwait and she was in an apartment building. Right there in the apartment building was a pool. If Chantal had any inclination to get healthy, she could have gone swimming. Swimming would have been a great activity for her at her weight because it, when you're swimming, it makes you buoyant. It's easier on the joints to where there's not as much pressure. She didn't go swimming. She could have lost so much weight if she had just gone swimming or at least improved her mobility. She never did it. She had an exercise room in Kuwait, didn't use that either. When she was living in Canada, when she was living at the Canadian Villa, she talked all about that nearby there was a gym and there was a swimming pool, blah, blah, blah. She didn't use those. I mean, she had tools at her disposal, never used them.
I don't want to be confined to my apartment all the time,
Yes, you do.
No? They wouldn't bother if they thought of rejecting you. Really? You have no idea. If I get a place, I'm going to freak. Yeah, I think so, Zoe. It'll be fun,
I think I understand the structure of this scooter scam. So Foodie is going to ask for $1,000 to $2,000. Do I think she's going to get it? No. I really don't think so. I think the beezers are all tapped out. They're getting to that point of being all tapped out. But she's structuring the scam this way. She's asking for $1,000 to $2,000 for a scooter. And if she gets even a portion of that money, if she gets back to Canada, she'll take that money and get herself a little bucket instead. She's going to look at the situation and go, I'm going to spend X amount of money for a rental car or a bucket and pocket the rest. She's going to find a way to pocket the rest.
Yes, exactly. You can put it in the trunk. But I think I need one.
Does anybody see Chantal folding? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. So the scooter is going to be the kind that's collapsible, foldable. Oh, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound strong enough to hold her weight.
Exactly. My left leg is really badly hurting. I don't know why. And I have a limp now. And I'm just...
Didn't I tell y'all? I said, when I pick up on her energy, I'm like, something going on with your foot, Foodie. I don't know. What's going on with your foot, girl? Your foot. Like, both of your feet are bad, but one is worse than the other. Why aren't you going to the doctor to find out? Shouldn't that be on your list of priorities as soon as you get to Canada? Go get checked out. I want to go get checked out.
It's not
It sounds like there's lack of circulation down there. You may have circulation problems, and that can be, girl, you might lose your foot.
in good shape.
So if they're maybe losing her foot and she's talking about a doggone scooter. Priorities, Chantal.
Like, I'm really fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margie, right? Maybe renters are very desperate because everyone's broke and nobody can afford rent these days. You never know. If they're desperate, they'll rent to you.
Yet she's not taking the smartest solution to her problem. The one that would make the most sense, and she would definitely not get scammed. Rent an extended stay. Hello. Extended stay motels are a sure thing. No scam involved. No first and last month. No security deposit. No pet deposit because she won't have a pet. Fully furnished room. Everything you need. All she'd have to worry about is food. Why isn't she taking the smartest, sure thing solution? That would actually be cheaper.
For 50? What? Really, Julie? You can drive a scooter. This was rough terrain. It says you ride them on the sidewalk, mobility scooters. The actual other scooters for fun, no, you ride them on the road. You can take them in the elevator, ECP, but I'm looking for like a, I want it like a townhome type thing. So if I have a townhouse like the villa before,
You're not going to get it. You're not going to get a townhouse like before. The only reason why you got the villa was because of Pete's. It was under his name, his credit. It was never in your name, although you left him with $5,000 in damages, Chantal. Hence the reason why he can't rent another villa for you, because you basically burned him. But the villa was never in your name. So you're not going to get another one.
What'll happen is I'll have to lock it outside or something. Oh, really, coffee? Yeah. Teardrop, hello! I don't know yet. I'm still waiting to hear. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes in Canada, no. I'm going to quit.
Liar. You a lie. You're going to smoke. Oh, but you know what? Again, let's look at the fine print. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes in Canada, she says. But it doesn't mean she's not going to smoke anything at all. Oh, she's going to smoke something, but it ain't tobacco.
Yes, exactly, Christina. It's good to get out. Apartments with elevators are considered luxury. Oh, no. Even Roach motels here have elevators. Farquaading was making fun of your mobility. Who cares? She looks like Gonzo and friggin' Robert De Niro had a love child. Nobody gives a shit what her irrelevant friggin' Farquaading ass thinks. Penthouse bees? No. You'd be like Maya from Degrassi. Hey, Scrape. It's okay. I'm used to it. Teardrop, don't even listen to those scumbags.
Says the scumbag that takes money from people just to go eat in a hotel.
Yeah, good. Sorry, guys. I'm just... I know, Kingu. Well, she had it coming. Robin. How do I come up with these things? I look at the person, and that's what I think. I'm very visual. Like, Robin, you look like a delicious, ripe strawberry. I don't mean that in a gross, like, sexual way. Hey, Selena. Tracy.
You beezers are going to be so disappointed. Let me tell you, when you see the real deal in Canada, you're going to be so disappointed. You're going to be so mad. All these promises she's making y'all. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get active. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then she's going to get there and she's not going to be active. She's not going to go out. And she's going to come up with reasons and excuses as to why. She's going to use the whole thing of being separated from Salah as a reason. She's going to say, oh, I'm so depressed. I can't leave the house and I'll do it tomorrow. I'll go out tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and there's another excuse. And then a month goes by, more excuses, more reasons why. And then 3 months go by. She still hasn't left the house. And she's going to use every reason in the world. Oh, it's cold outside. I don't want to go out. It's snowing, blah, 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 blah. You're going to hear every excuse under the sun. Trust and believe you will.
Yes, that's the thing, Christina. I can scoot to the park and then walk for a little bit and then scoot home.
Wait, you just said not 2 minutes ago that you have trouble walking. So now you're saying I can take the scooter to the park and then go walking in the park. But how are you going to walk in the park if you just said not 2 minutes ago that walking 2 minutes is a lot for you because your feet hurt, although you're not exactly explaining how and when you're going to deal with the foot pain. There's no plan about I'm going to go to the doctor and I'm going to see what's going on with my foot so we can get this treated so I can be on my feet again. You're leaving that part out.
Mario Kart vibes. But if you hit a pothole, you can fly, go flying. Or what if I have like 5 jars of pickles in the basket and it breaks? What's going to happen? Don't even
Then they break and then you don't eat them.
know. I'll get chains? No. Hey, Sour Patch Bay. So I weigh exactly.
Here come the lies.
Oh, sis. We're very different people. Yeah, Vamptiva. The doorbell ringer was a family member checking on me. Are you allowed to drive a scooter on cannabis? Or is it illegal? Katie Kate, right? I love fried pickles. I think so, Margie. Hey, Missy Med. I think it would be good for my mental health. As long as I understand people's apprehension, as long as I don't use it to scoot to the cupboards and become super lazy. Yeah, if I don't use it to drive to the fridge.
Driving to the fridge. What?
True.
So, listen, Chantal, ma'am, you need to be institutionalized because your delusions of grandeur are getting worse. Do you honestly think you're going to have a house big enough? You're going to have a big enough kitchen where you can actually use a scooter in it? Stop. Stop it. Like, you're going to be lucky to get a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment, and kitchens in places like that are usually pretty doggone small.
Tiny Shamrocks. Thanks for the super chat, and this is my opportunity to plug my PayPal, which is linked, because we have a month left, and I'm trying to raise as much as I can towards moving back to Canada. I have my plane ticket purchased, ready to go, and I have a deposit on apartment. My last month, anyways. Just planning.
And she did that on purpose. Oh, I have this much, but I need this much. That's the subtle scam. That is a subtle grift. I don't have enough, y'all. Keep giving, keep giving, keep giving. They don't have it to give, Chantal. Give it up. The well is dry. Quit it.
In my life, Tracy. And have a super chat goal and my PayPal. And if you cannot afford it, don't even worry about it. The fact that you're here means a lot as well.
Yeah, because the people that are watching your live are still putting money in your pocket through Google AdSense. You're lucky to even be getting that, considering the fact that you're not even on camera, lazy.
Oh, okay, Harley Quinn. There's some that go up to 400 that are only like 1,200. No, you're helping Teardrop by modding and just being awesome and supportive. Like I said, those of you who can't donate monetarily, just being here, you know. Debbie, really? Oh, you're gonna have gas. Yes, you can go through a drive-through Twinkie. Do you want to bet? Just try me. My other ride is. Oh my gosh, he's a pee. No, because I'm gonna be divorced. So go to dollar store. I'm gonna go to Dollarama if there's one nearby. I can only go a certain amount of. No, I'm celibacy beezing. Okay. At the end of October, Tracy. Listen, I can get a job when I get there.
No, you can't. What job exactly are you going to get? I'd like to know. Are you even in shape to sit at a desk and take phone calls, do customer service? You don't even have a nice personality to deal with people. You haven't worked a regular job in many, many years, Chantal. And going to an actual job means you have to go to work appropriately dressed. You have to be clean and hygienic, being around other people. You have to have a pleasant personality. You have to be pleasant to work with. You've got to be easy to work with. You've got to be able to take direction well. None of these things applies to you. So you need to stop talking this nonsense with the Beezers and acting like, I'm going to go back to Canada. I'm going to get a job. YouTube is the only thing you've got left. And at your current health and weight, ma'am, your mobility, that would be a problem. I just don't see it happening.
I can't get a job here. I need to e-bag for now. Okay, so you got $5, Terry, or what?
Wow. Terry says you need a job, not a scooter. Stop grifting and begging. Agreed.
I actually could set up a little office and work from home or look for a job, maybe part-time.
You know, Chantal, you're in Kuwait. Excuse me, I am sorry. You're in Syria. Since you might be interested in a job, why don't you start looking for a job now? Because it does take a while to get a job. You know, see what's out there. See what you can do remotely from home and how much it pays, and start talking to people, making some phone calls, reaching out and saying, I'm interested in working for you. What do I need? Why don't you start now?
She's 57. Now I weigh 3.
Here come the lies.
I weigh 344.
Lies. You do not, biatch. You do not. Maybe one of your legs weighs that much. I'm being mean. I'm sorry. But it just, no, you're not. You are not 344. Ma'am. Ma'am. You weren't even that weight when you lived with BB. You did a weigh-in at BB's place. 377 pounds. And anybody could look at the older clips of you from like 8 years ago, look at the way you looked, look at the way you moved, and tell there's a big, big, big difference. Big difference. You know, I have to wonder something, Chantal, if it's a mental thing. Is it a mental thing? Where maybe in your head, you think that anything under 400 pounds is not obese. Maybe that's it. And so you will never admit that you're over 400 pounds. Never. So in your head, you convince yourself that you're 344 pounds when you're actually probably like 544. But you just, maybe it's part of your delusion of grandeur of like, I am 344 pounds and I am not 550 pounds. I don't know. It's got to be that.
I weighed myself yesterday. That's true. Maybe I could, yeah, maybe, Catherine. So I'll need. Should I get the scooter that's up to 350, or should I get the scooter that's 400?
You shouldn't get a scooter at all. You should get a car or take Ubers because a scooter's not going to work. I'm sorry. No.
Margie. Yeah, because no matter what, no matter what, I'm not going to be able to walk far distances. There's not for a long while. So,
You know, instead of investing in a scooter, why don't you invest in a treadmill? If you're getting an apartment, you can get a treadmill. It's not going to be cheap because of your weight, because of your size. It's going to cost you about $1,000. So instead of spending $1,000 or $2,000 on a scooter, spend $1,000 on a treadmill, and then you can practice your walking and get your mobility up. And then you can walk places if you lose enough weight.
350 scooter. You can fill the basket. Oh yeah, I need to fill the basket. Maybe the 400 one. Yeah, that's true. What if I need to go to like the store? GLP-1. Well, I have access to all the best drugs when I go there.
Jeez. See where her mind's at?
Spinning donuts. 400 so you can grow into it. Like a pair of jeans. No. Yeah, it was. It's great.
Like all this talk about the scooter, this is just a topic of conversation. She needs stuff to talk about because she chooses to go live for like an hour, 2 hours. So it's like, let me just dream about Canada and going back there and eating, and let's talk about the scooter today. Let's act like I'm really going to get the scooter and that'll generate conversation for at least an hour. That's what this is.
You need to bedazzle the scooter. Put bling on it. Yes, I'm going to sign your names on it. Get the 500 one. You'll be hauling stuff. You don't want to stress it. Okay, what happens if the scooter needs maintenance? Or that you take it to like a Mr. Lube or something?
You're so stupid.
Get a grabber. Yes, I need one. Amazon. I'm so happy for Amazon. Like, you need to wait 3 months before you can get your OHIP. 3 months? Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yep, because you've been out of Canada too long.
Oh, Belle, I remember her. Yeah, she had butterfly hips. Yeah, true. Easy home. Benny Hill music playing in the background. YouTube lover. Why not get a car? Laura, eventually, but I can't really afford one right now. So,
Chantal, if you want the money for a scooter, you can rent a car, and a car would be much more practical and it make much more sense.
if you've had bad credit in the past, you want to, sure, you can get a car loan these days. There's so many people that, so many people that have gone bankrupt that they'll just give credit, but with a catch. They will charge you so much interest. I'd rather just, wing it and just try to save for a beater because I don't want to have a car loan payment paying 6 years on a 2014. No thanks.
She's talking about the Sangria Kia. That was a direct reference to the Sangria Kia that she had. That although she was making 20, 30 grand a month, that Kia still wasn't paid off. She still owed money on the Kia, even though she was on YouTube, but she could have paid that sucker off like in no time flat.
Easy home. Them too, the interest is insane. Oh, bicycle shops do it. Okay, Christina, thank you. Scooter bees. What's a hoop?
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. Papa Willie says, can you believe they let Nasty out of jail? Nasty being Natter. So I'm wondering, now that he is out of jail, if Chantal's going to go home to Canada a little bit faster, if that will motivate her to go to Canada a little bit faster. Because trust me, she wants to see him or she wants to talk to him.
D.
As a matter of fact, this $1,000, $2,000 that she's asking for, it would not surprise me at all if that was the entrance fee into Club Natter. Because you know, Club Natter is very exclusive, y'all. When Chantal was a member of Club Natter, she could not get past the door. She could not get past the velvet rope into the VIP section without paying some sort of fee like, oh, I don't know, groceries, liquor, party favors, rent, paying for the phone, paying for the food, paying for this, paying for that. She couldn't get in for free. Dee Dee was the one who got in for free, but not Chantal. Chantal always had to pay a very high fee to Club Natter. So is that $1,000 to $2,000 the fee into Club Natter?
Scooter? Oh, they really did, Papa Willie? Get out. Loan sharks have Pete's take out alone. No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not relying on Pete's for anything. No.
This person, you know what? Hold on a minute. Let me go back to this comment because this is outrageous. J.P. Taylor says, have Pete's take a loan out for you and then problem solved. He can't pay your interest for the next 10 years. So, Beezers, what is wrong with you? Chantal makes much more money than Pete's. Pete's is on hard times. He's on benefits from what I understand. He's already in debt because of Chantal. He's already had to pay $5,000 in damages to the villa that she caused. And she damaged his credit. She's put him in debt more than a couple of times. And then you morons are suggesting for her to have Pete's take out a loan for her? For her. If it matters to her, she'll take out her own doggone loan. She can get a payday loan or something. But why should Pete's go in debt again for her? I mean, come on now. Seriously.
I don't want to rely on anybody. I want to do everything other than getting help if people want to help. But I mean, you know what I mean? Loans in people's names and stuff. No, I'm not going to do that,
I don't think Pete's would even do it even if she asked. He would say, nope, I ain't got it and I can't give it. So don't ask for it.
Loads of people buy new cars on finance. Yes. It's hard to save. Yeah. I need a sticker that says I'm tootin' and scootin'. Can you get pulled over in a scooter? A hoopty is a beater. Oh. 10 days after you bought it. Oh my gosh, scrape. You will get raptured. It's true, Katrina. A hoopty for... I want to get a hover round. Remember the commercial? I want to be on a hover round commercial. I know I'm joking, but I actually do have limited mobility. So... And I know it's...
And you know what's sad? When you think about the fact that when all this first began, before she went to Kuwait, she had mobility. She had no problem walking. And she was a little bit slower on her feet, because she was on the heavier side, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. In the space of 3 years, her mobility is down to almost zero. All because of her basically devoting herself entirely to her addictions.
It's my fault, but I messed up, so. The waiting period, so I can get healthcare right away. I drive a 2003 RAV that I bought for a couple $1,000. There you go. But you don't have like a car payment every month, Margie. That's what I want to do. I want to save and get like a small, Hey, Melanie.
Getting like a little bucket cart may sound like a good idea. But, okay, so you don't have car payments every month that, smack you on the bottom on your bank account once a month. But if you get a used car, usually used cars, they come with issues that pop up later. And those issues may be severe, and Chantal is not one that she is smart enough to get a mechanic or someone to look at the car before she buys or make sure that it's regularly maintained. She'll run a car into the ground. So it may seem like a good idea to buy a cheap car. And then later on, you figure out it's much more expensive because of the problems that you got to keep fixing.
Go to Niagara Falls and yell hover around over the fall. Can you go up the hill? What if I get stuck? Yeah, I think it will be. Don't make duas for a hover around commercial. Get a golf cart. It was good, Big Koreans. We might go again tomorrow to a gathering because it's Juma. You missed the gaming? I want a game again. My father-in-law has one and wires slipped out and got destroyed over a speed bump. That's my worst fear, hitting a speed bump. Friday.
And I'm going to be straight with y'all. Whenever I react to Chantal now, I go on Twitter. If I see a lot of clips on Twitter from the stream, I know it was halfway decent. If there's not much, I know it was kind of boring. And this stream, there wasn't much to talk about. I could just tell there wasn't much to talk about, but I only wanted to cover this one because of her being an idiot and giving up money for the house or home or whatever she's trying to do. I think there's a little bit of stuff to talk about, so that's why I'm covering it.
That's why. If you have bad credit, go take a hike. But some places are very flexible.
And Chantal, the stuff that you're saying is stuff that most adults already know. I'm sure most adults are very familiar with how bad credit works and what the repercussions are and the difficulties you go through. I think we're all aware. You don't need to tell us.
Katrina, that makes sense. But I used the healthcare system a lot.
Yeah, you did. You overused it and you abused it.
A lot. And when I went to Canada, and I'm like, oh, do I have to pay for that? And she's like, well, here's the thing. And then there's some policy where they don't make you pay. So I don't got to pay anything. I'm very thankful for Canada for that. I'm good.
Yeah, but I just showed the clip on Twitter where you're like, Canada is trash and they charge too much in the way of taxes and I'm not going back there. But now you have to go back. So suddenly, Canada's great, and I love their healthcare. See how the narrative switches based on where she is and how much money she's got?
I'm going to kiss the ground when I get home, even if it's dirty and full of dog pee. No, I'm just joking. I'm never going clubbing. Ew. No, I think you're...
That's funny. Belle says, can we go clubbing in the scooter? And she just said, clubbing, ew, but you used to go clubbing. Isn't that how you and BB met? You met at a club? You used to enjoy going to the club, Chantal, when you were, looking for men. So you don't like clubbing now?
You're allowed to drive on the sidewalk when I looked it up. A mobility scooter. Duration, How can you throw out cheese? Cheese abuse. History. And you paid money up front. Proves you have it to pay rent. True. I'm hoping they see that. Like, okay, she has money to pay. So she paid her rent. So I hate paying the last month's rent up front, but then whenever you move out, you're so happy that you did because you don't have to pay the last month. You know what I mean? Rock lobster.
And what rental history could Chantal show for the last few years? Let's think back for a minute. When she was living at the villa with Pete's, his name was on the lease, not hers. So even if she wanted to, she couldn't claim that as part of her rental history because she wasn't the official tenant. And then after the villa, she went to go live with Salah in Kuwait. And once again, her name was not on the lease. So she stayed there for 3 years. No rental history that she could claim. And then now she's in Syria and she's not paying rent. So what rental history are you going to talk about? Because most places, they want references about where you've lived, but there's no references that you could actually show, which is going to make the landlord nervous. Hence the reason why she go to a rental, an extended stay.
Veggie garden, nice. Now, I can't wait to eat at the Green Door, but I don't have a car, so I don't know how that will work.
Take a taxi.
Oh, yeah, they must return the money. I swept the courtyard. It was insanely full of olives. Oh my goodness.
Chantal, you go on and on about the doggone olives. You can't eat the olives, stupid. They got to be brined first. They're nice to look at, I'm sure, but you can't eat them. So why are you going on and on about the doggone olives?
It's depressing to hear 40-year-old. I think that's a bit ableist. I think people can have trouble with mobility at any age. And actually, 40 is middle age. Maybe even further than middle age, depending on how long you live. I mean, yes. I hope you meet Keeks. I think they live far away. What the hell, Margie? Stuffed them with blue cheese. Yikes. Long distances. You know what it is? Oh, hey, Wanda. I hope you can hear me, Wanda.
So this is a good question. Io says, why can't you go back to Canada sooner? Why wait until the end of October? Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Wouldn't it make more sense for her to go now? Because if she went home to Canada now, got set up, she still got like at least a couple of days until the end of the month, and that could add to her paycheck next month. Because if she goes home next month, like she's going to get dismal views while she's in Syria and still be dealing with the bad internet. And that's just going to cost her more money. It's going to be more expensive for her. If she went home to Canada at the 1st of October, like she could just go gangbusters and then she would get a bigger paycheck in November. So October, November, and December are the highest paying months of the year for YouTubers. So wouldn't it just make sense to get to Canada at the beginning of October rather than the end? Because she's missing out on an entire month where she could be making better than average money.
I feel very scared, like insecure. I feel like really like even if I was physically capable, I don't believe in myself. Like I feel like, I feel panicky. Like, oh my gosh, what if I start having chest pain, or what if something happens and I'm stuck? I don't know.
Well, here's an even scarier thought for you, Chantal. What if you're in Syria and you start having chest pain or something serious happens? What are you going to do? I would rather be in Canada with better health care that if I'm having a medical emergency, that an emergency, a paramedic can be called rather than an area where there's limited health care. You've got serious health issues. And if something happens in Syria, you're going to be SOL. I would rather be somewhere where I could be taken care of and there's a chance at great health care than somewhere where there isn't.
I hope not, Lizzie. Hormones are, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I need to get a doctor, number one. I need to get a family doctor. I need to go online before I get to Canada and like look up doctors and get an appointment so they can get me on proper diabetes treatment, get me on, they have more sophisticated ones in Canada, get me full health checkup, bone density checkup, because I haven't been on hormone replacement therapy and I was supposed to be for many years.
Yep. And that's one thing she neglected was her HRTs. She should have been on her HRTs ever since her hysterectomy. She never has been. And that might be a contributor to her hair loss. Like, I don't know if it's hereditary in her family. I don't know. I don't know her family history, but her lack of hair could be from bad diet, because Chantal's diet's been garbage for the last several years. It could be from her HRTs. It could be hereditary. Only a doctor could tell her.
I have to get on, the hormone replacement thing. Hey, Squeaky from.
Like all these things you're talking about, you would have to have an attitude of actually giving a crap about yourself. And you don't. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your health. And your mindset is, yes, I could spend money on my health. It's going to be expensive though. And I need money for my addictions. So the addictions are going to win every single time. Every time. And it's not going to change until she gets in recovery for her addictions. And I'm sorry to say it. It's not a nice thing to say, y'all, but you can just sometimes look at somebody and tell when they're ready, when they are at the edge and they're ready to make a change, and she isn't. I don't hear any sign from Chantal that she's fighting against the addictions. I don't hear any fighting in her words and her attitude. She gives in. She doesn't fight against them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I'm going to do, Teardrop. I'm gonna, Ultra what? Actually, Salah made me promise that too. He's like, the only thing I ever expect from you when you go to Canada is to follow up on your health. So,
Chantal, once you get on that plane, he's going to turn around. He's going to go to his car. He's going to drive home and try not to think of you again. Because all this was a contract. The contract is over. Therefore, he doesn't have to think of you again. You were just a bad dream that went on too long for Salah. That he got a little bit of money out of. He did whatever he did with that money, and it's over. And he's going to let go. Because why not? It was a contract. It was a business deal. Once the business deal is over, you can let go and forget about it.
oh,
He might come online and read you to filth, and I hope that he does. I hope that's why he stayed quiet all this time. He's been waiting for you to leave, for it to be over, and once it's over and you're out of Syria, he can start talking.
yeah, Wanda, you guys pay a lot, hey? Hormone replacement therapy, Lavisa, when you go into menopause early? Right, Monica? It's just walking. I don't know. I feel weird.
I'm going to say something about her lack of mobility. Chantal's been very devoted to catering to the Foodies. The Foodies don't want her to walk. They don't want her to have mobility. They don't want her to lose weight. They don't want her to eat less food. And they'll pay good money to get their way. Chantal has chosen addiction over good health, over mobility. If the Foodies come forward and say, I'll pay you X amount to stay off your feet today, to eat a bunch of fast food, she's going to grab the money and she's going to do what they say. They have the first say in things.
Hey, Nitty. Scully, I don't remember why I stopped. I was on a patch. Yeah. But when the moon hits your eye like a big... Yeah, they turn into people and not trolls, right? Sit and spin. You'd ask for a pic? I've been asked for pics. Oh my gosh, there's so many things I took for granted. Like I miss, even just like, I don't know, stupid things. Like what? I don't know.
I miss lots of things. And then she goes to list them. I don't know. You know why she says I don't know? Because you didn't do anything. For 3 years. She was in the house all the time.
I'm shorter than expected. Yeah. Exactly, Christina. We just see things through a different lens. Yeah, I see what you mean, toxic. I'll never be this young again, I know. A Lakma dessert, is it called puffs? Both, Siam. Yeah, I'm leaving at the end of October. Today is the youngest you'll ever be again. The simple things. Just stuff like, just going shopping at the dollar store, like name brands, I don't know, stuff like that. Like being able to order stuff, Amazon. I went to the ER about 3 weeks ago in excruciating pain. I had a CT. Inflammation. Oh, shoot. Yeah, but why would they refer you to an oncologist unless they see something, Tracy?
Okay. Would y'all mind if I cut out? We've only got like 9 minutes left. She's just babbling at this point. I just came here to discuss the whole situation with her move and the fact that she might have gotten scammed. I don't know. This is one of those things of we'll let it play out the way it's supposed to play out. We'll see what we'll see, and we'll see where she ends up, and that's it. So that's it for this react. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.